guys, welcome to Talking Shop episode. We've got the man, the myth, the legend, owner, founder, fucking Bruce Buffett here, aren't we?
Chief sweeper.
Chief sweeper, yeah, indeed. We've got Johnny Barber. Welcome to the Talking Shop podcast, mate.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming on.
How have you been? How's life?
Good.
Yeah.
Good. As I said, miserable, but you'd never know. I'm a consummate professional, so I hide it well.
You hide it well. You do, mate. You do.
Smash it.
So I've known you for I don't even know how many years now. I think the first time I met you, well, in fact I remember the first time I met you, was at Barber Connect 2013. It was the first time I met you.
Jeez.
That's the bit, yeah. You had the guy from Wayward with you.
Donny.
Yeah. And you're all in my coloured suits.
Yeah.
It was like you walked in, right, and I'm not even gonna joke here. The doors swung open, the mist came, and the foreman turned up in like proper like out there suits.
Yeah.
But you know what? I was having this chat to my wife last night. I was telling my wife you were coming up, and I was saying, your marketing, which wasn't even marketing, it's just you, who you are, fucking worked. It worked. Everybody knew who you were.
Yeah, for good or bad, I suppose. Do you know what I mean? But that was, I didn't have a marketing plan, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? Like I came over here off the boat. Do you know what I mean? I didn't know what to expect. You know, Manchester just got so busy so quickly, and what was supposed to be one shop ended up being a lot of shops very quickly. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I really didn't. I just rolled with it. But the one thing I remember saying at the very, very start, I was saying, right, I'm going to just, sounds so fucking cliche, right? I'm going to be myself, and if you don't like it, fuck it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I kind of did that with bells on it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In actual fact, I probably went a little bit too hard at it because I didn't even try to fit in with people or, you know, try get in around the industry. I didn't try to do that. It was kind of, here I am. If you don't like it, fuck off. If you do, great. Do you know what I mean? And looking back in it, it was probably a little bit too hardcore, to be honest with you, because, you know, I don't want to say I made a lot of enemies, but certainly I rubbed a lot of people up the wrong way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I've never really given too much a fuck about it. Do you know what I mean? But you know, in hindsight,
you want to be with then if
in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have been as hardcore. Do you know what I mean? But it did work.
I think hindsight's
It's a wonderful thing. Yeah,
you know,
yeah, it
the
is.
things I could say the same thing I shouldn't have done. So after things I've done, like not even just professionally but personally. Like it's, you know, you always make that mistake. I wouldn't even say, because for me when I was thinking back to when I asked you to come on, and I was thinking I'd love to get you on because we've only spoken on the phone. We've done it on one of the podcasts today last time. Was that as much as it's memorable for for you like you saying like the wrong reasons sometimes. I don't think there's a wrong reason to be memorable though. Half the time, I think you being who you are is who you are.
Yeah.
You haven't tried to, like you said, fit into a particular industry. You know, this industry. If you think about the barbershops that opened up in the last 5 years, they're all black and white tiles. They're all hardwood. They're all the same. Where you've done something completely different. I don't think anyone had ever seen before.
Yeah, I think, you know, what I did do, and the thing is, like, I've been in this industry, if you can call it an industry, I've been in this business, in this job, in this profession, longer than I haven't been.
Yeah.
Right? And I've seen the trends, right? And I remember the trend of the late 90s in Ireland, the early 2000s, when everything became men's hairdressing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I thought, oh, what the fuck's going on here? You know,
Yeah.
all of a sudden you had barbers saying that they're men's hairstylists or they're men's this. And that's fine. Say what you want to say, right? But that was the first change, right? And then there was the Celtic Tiger, when everybody became like uber expensive, right? And then there was the Smash, when everything became super cheap. It went from we're men's hairdressers to we cut your hair for £6 on the fucking Tuesday, right? And that was the second drop. And then around 2010, 2011, you could see a change again.
Yeah.
And I like this change though, because it was back to fucking what I always did. So I mean, when I always wore, you know, nice clothes going to work. You know, I always kind of played nice music. I always gave a drink. I always gave coffee. And I like this change because people all of a sudden really started to appreciate it, where it wasn't appreciated before.
Yeah.
And then of course with social media, love it or hate it, it's been responsible for a lot. You know what I mean? And, as much as I hate it, I have to kind of love it in the sense that it did give me the opportunity to do what I've done, and build a business on the back of a profile, be it a profile people hate or people love. But I've always been of the belief that a barber is never going to pay my bills. The industry will never pay my bills because I'm not an industry guy. I don't rely on the industry for my income. So it was all my customers, right? So I set my stall out very, very clearly. I said, this is what I do, this is what I sell. If you like it, come on in. If you don't like it, well, that's fine. You know what I mean? So, 100%. And it worked. You know what I mean? And no matter how many people gave out about it, and no matter how many people thought I was doing the wrong thing, saying, oh, well, he shouldn't say that and he shouldn't say this, there was 10 people who loved it. You know what I mean? So it became a numbers game. You know what I mean? It was kind of like, right, okay, he hates it, but they love it. She hates it. And that was it.
See, that's the thing as well. A lot of people tend to jump on what the minority say, right? The people who
the loud
don't
minority,
like it.
They do because
louder sometimes.
Yeah, I think that is what, but that's this industry as a whole. It's a fucking farce.
It goes further than this industry, though. If you think of the BBC, the 5 complaints you're cancelled, 1 million people love you. The voice is unheard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But that's it's the ever-changing palette of society. Do you know what I mean? And it's whatever gets the most traction at that one particular time is what the sheep run with. Do you know what I mean? And that is unfortunate. The fact that it's become now, I'm going to say political. It has become political, and it's kind of like, I want no part of it. I want no part.
You step back a bit then, would you say?
I don't do anything in the industry anyway. I wouldn't.
No.
I wouldn't. I do these type of stuff because it's this is not industry. This is a personal thing. And it's great because it still keeps a toe in where it needs. Because I still need to get staff. I still need to promote my business within the barbering circle. So hopefully somebody sees this. Goes, he's not so bad. I'd like to work there. And that's what I do it for. I couldn't give a fuck about standing on a stage anymore.
No.
For free. So someone else can sell a fucking ticket. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, well, it's kind of like, well, you give us all your time for free. Meanwhile, we're going to sell tickets for people to watch you, but you cover all your own expenses. We don't pay you for your time, and we're going to sell tickets for people to watch you cut hair. And for as long as people like you, we'll hire you. And then as soon as you say something that I don't like or that somebody else doesn't like, then I'm afraid we can't hire you anymore. And it's kind of like, and I've had issues with the fellowship in the past. I've had issues with a couple of other organisations, and I said, you know what? I'm actually doing okay. I don't fucking need you. Do you know what I mean? And that's it. They don't need me either, because there's plenty of fools ready to line up to give their time. Because I was one of those fools. Do you know what I mean? It's not me calling him, he's a fool for doing it.
No.
I was a fool for doing it. So therefore, if I was a fool, then
But do you know what? We were having this conversation last night, weren't we? About or was it to you? I was saying I don't go to. I don't go to the shows anymore.
Conventions.
I done one. I did the one in Brighton, and that was because I got asked to talk about business, which I prefer talking about, like how to. I done it on basically knowing your worth. You know what we were chatting about, about charging a certain amount. I spoke about that because, like you said, I don't want to do things for free anymore in terms of like cutting hair. I did, don't get me wrong, it works when you're 18, 19, 20, early 20s, or whatever, or you're trying to get staff. But if you're not having to go down that route, the shows don't work for me anymore. Not at all. I love how they inspire a certain generation, they inspire a certain, type of hairdresser, barber, whatever, for the creativity. I'm not a creative barber, hairdresser, hairstylist, whatever you want to call me. I do things that work for everyday guys, right? I teach people how to style their own hair. I cut hair in a way to let them replicate what I do. But if you go for the creative element, they must shine. It must be amazing. But I'm kind of on the same page about all that. I'll be honest with you. I don't know about you. Do you still go to the shows?
No, you know what? I've never been to a show. I've never really liked the idea of it. You know what I mean? It's probably good on like a networking point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You probably meet a lot of people, but I've heard stories about people just like getting their ass kissed. You know what I mean? Just because they're there, and like I'm not a fan of that.
It's mental.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
imagine,
It's mad because it's so false.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a little bubble, and it's just it's not the way things should be. Do you know what I mean? No. It's like, you don't hear of well, maybe there is, but restaurant conventions and plumber conventions. No one gives a fuck.
No,
right?
No.
Let's face it, right?
Yeah.
They don't. Like, people say, we're like a family. No, we're not. We're not. We're like a family. What happens at families every Christmas?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What happens? You fucking fight. You fight over everything. Do you know what I mean? And listen, I think we have to have a respect for each other, but I think everyone has to respect what everyone else does, right? You mightn't like what I do, I mightn't like what you do, but if it works for you, it works for me. What's the fucking harm in it? Do you know what I mean? People need to learn to shut the fuck up. They do. And if it's not their business, they need to stay out of it.
I thought I learned that quite a while ago now. I used to work in, before I opened up my shop, I worked in a shop in Soho, and there was a guy who I've known for a while who was working there, and I watched him cut hair. And it wasn't anything like I would do, right, at all. But the end result was the same. And that was a switch in my mindset where I used to be very critical of how people used to cut hair. I go, you have to hold the comb this way, you have to hold the scissors this way, you have to hold the clipper this way. When I watched him do it, he didn't hold his comb like me, he didn't hold his clippers like me. But the end result was the fucking same.
But now that you say that, see, I struggle with this all the time, right? Because I'm quite technically minded, but I rely more on my eyes than anything else, And if you think, of the core shapes, right? And I think everything works off that. There's only one way to be correct, right?
Yeah.
But there's a million ways of getting there.
Yeah, that's so true.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So once your fundamentals are correct, and this is what's important. I think people need to understand when they're trying to fast track stuff and trying to do this. Well, I do it this way and I do it that way, and it's fine to do it. But once, like you said, once your end result is the same. Now, what's the end result? It's the expanded shape of the haircut, right? So once the expanded shape is correct, it's correct, which means you've used the correct method, right? Yeah. Now, method and technique are different. I think technique is technique, and method is method, right? But the way people approach things, like some of my, like if you have, my favourite hairdressers, barbers, right, are completely polar opposites of each other, right? When you think of somebody for my money, Dale Ted Watkins is the best in the world, right? That's what I think. He's very, very precise, right? He's exceptionally methodical, right? And then you have someone like Robert Massiev, right, who is complete visagiste, right? But if you ever watched him work, you go, what the fuck's he doing?
Yeah.
Right? But he's, from my mind, one of the greatest creative hairdressers in the world. Then you have Rob van Rietveld from Scrotum, again. His creative brain is just fucking off the charts, right? And there's three guys who are completely different, but yet three probably of the best in the world at what they do, and they all do it differently, but they all follow the same principles, and that's the principles need to be the same.
That's right.
Right?
That's
How
right.
you execute it is completely up to yourself. But once you understand, well, a layer is a layer, graduation is graduation, line is line, skin is skin, right? But if you put that together, what annoys me is when you get people, why are you cutting hair in your fingers? You can just cut it in the comb and get the same result. No, it fucking won't. It won't. Because you won't have you won't have the tension, you won't have the correct elevation. It might look the same, as in like visually on the surface, but in 4, 5, 6, 7 days time, what was cut in the comb loosely is going to look like a bag of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And when people and I think that's unfair to people who are very, very technically minded, because people go, he's only showing off, and then you have people like they'll go through the motions because they want to be seen to be technical, but they're not precise with their technique, so they end up having to fucking blast it off when they're finished anyway. So they're doing it for the sake of doing it, without, instead of going in there honest and say, right, listen, when I start I'm going to be really shit, right, and I'm going to be a little less shit every fucking week till I'm good, right? I say, my son is 10 years old, I say to him all the time, he's a very good artist and he draws, and he's an excellent drawer. He's staying away from painting. Why? Because he's shit at it, right? But I say to him, everything started from nothing, and you're going to be, like, when you started drawing, you weren't very good. Now you're very good because you kept drawing. So I'm trying to push him to paint a bit more,
Yeah.
Because he doesn't like painting. Why doesn't he like painting? Because he doesn't like his result.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly, yeah.
And because he doesn't like his result, he stops and he shies away from it. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying, look, no, you have to paint this week, because he goes to art classes a couple of days a week. So this week I said, I want you to paint, but I don't like painting. I know you don't like painting. I said, but you have to paint, because that's why we're sending you to art class, to learn how to paint.
Yeah.
And every week you'll be a little bit better, and eventually you're going to be really good at painting. And it's at 10 years old, that's starting to sink into him.
Yeah.
Right?
See, I've got a 10-year-old, and I was on this chat with him about, we were talking about money. I spoke about this on the episode. We done like a episode 1. It's like an intro, really, me and Ray talking. And I find that certain things at that age do sink in, especially if you hone in on what they like, and then you can move and adapt to what they're not, you know, within the same sort of circle, to make them improve on what they don't like. I always think like we need to have the mind of a 10-year-old though.
I do.
In the way, you know, I'm 17 apparently. But what I mean is that we need to, even in our industry, if we're not good at something, people will shy away from doing it because they know their shit at like hairdressing, for example, like ladies hairdressing, if we can still call it that. I have shied away from that because I know my end results are shit. But I don't want it, but I want to learn it. I want to be able to do it. I'd love to do a bump. I'd love to do something really precise. And then precision cutting championships. And the guys you work with, or you've done some stuff with
JB Mazzella,
yeah. I would love to go to one of those shows or one of their events and just like be involved in that. But I know I'm not.
But those events, bud. I mean, like I've done loads of those events, right? And the beauty about those events, like there was one night we did where there was I was at it. There was Lisa Farrell was at it, or Douglas was there. You know, there's so many different genres of what is deemed creative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's great because not all precision hair cutting, you know, is that sharp line and that really clean result. You know, precision can be, you know, a fade. You know, that's precision. You know what I mean? Because I don't think precision has any place in men's hair, to be honest. You know, I think I like everything to be soft. We'll go into that in a while, but you know, my whole aesthetic is very soft, very commercial. So precise, unless it's a fade, I'm not interested in precision.
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
See, I want to touch on that because that's how I think about my work as well. I don't like harsh lines. I try and stay away from it, unless it has to be the way it is. Do you think that's because we're from a similar sort of generation of
I think 80s and 90s hair is the best of all, and I don't think it'll ever get better. I don't think you're ever going to improve.
Early 2000s.
Man.
Late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, for me, I love the 90s, you know what I mean? But I grew up in the 90s.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it's that raw, not overdone, not over fucking preened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not some cunt sitting in the fucking mirror with 18 different fucking products. It's just like, that's copper. No, you know, you think about this, right? The most iconic haircuts of all time. You know, you got Johnny Cash, Elvis, Sid Vicious, Kurt Cobain, you know, Paul Weller, James Dean, all these ones, right? They were probably cut in kitchens. You know what I mean? True. By crackheads. Do you know what I mean? And see, again, this is what I try to get across to people all the time. It's not the fucking haircut, it's the person. Right? So, again, once you're correct, and once you have an eye, and once you have an element of style, and style is something I think you can learn it, you know what I mean, but it takes a long time to develop a certain style. And if you start jumping from ship to ship and trend to trend, you're going to have nothing. You'd be just another fucking vanilla average hair cutter or hairdresser or barber, whatever you want to call yourself. You know what I mean? And if you keep, I think this is the problem. The problem is there's people adapted, they're almost becoming chameleon-like. You know, people are adapting other people's taste level. And the taste level is yours and yours alone, right? And you got to have confidence in your taste level, right? I've got an insane amount of confidence in my taste level.
I can see what your taste is, though. I can see it just based on your Instagram.
But I can understand your taste level, and I understand why you do it. Same with like Josh and Monica. I get it. I know why he does it. Right? But he's Josh and Monica, and to be fair, you know, and not trying to fucking crawl up his arse, right? But his technical ability is fucking outstanding, and he could lend himself to any taste level he wanted, but this is his taste level, and he's built a global business on that. You know what I mean? So many people say, oh yeah, but who really wants a haircut like that? It doesn't fucking matter because he's selling it to the people who want it. So it's about, as I said to you at the start of the interview, you set your fucking stall.
Yeah,
this is what I sell. If you want to buy it, come in. If you don't, fuck off.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
And that is
Definitely,
that you have to respect what he does.
Yeah,
you have to.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. So how would you, looking at like the future of, or not, that's not the future, let's say the present of this industry, how do you hire people? What do you hire based on?
I hire these days.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking hell, if a fella ties his shoelaces. Do you know what I mean? If a fella can tie his fucking shoelaces, I give him a job. That's how bad it's gone.
Yeah.
Right, it's fucking...
Are you still doing your education?
No.
No.
No, I do it in-house, like, but I don't...
That's what I mean, you still do it, you still training
Yeah,
people?
we do it, but again, we do it, you know, as much as we can. You know, do you have a model today? No, couldn't get one. You live in a city with 6 million fucking people, you can't get a model. You know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah, I saw in the fucking streets of Oxford Street.
I remember, but I did it in Limerick City. You know what I mean? You know, listen, I think we're at another critical phase. You know, I think we're going into a massive drop.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see a lot of shit fall off.
Yeah.
I think, you know, the fellas who haven't been playing a clean game are going to be caught. It's going to catch up with them with the energy crisis and fellas paying their bills out of their till and not being able to offset stuff against the VAT and all. That's going to catch up with people. You know, but also I think, you know, barbering is no longer trendy again. Do you remember every fucker wanted to be a barber? Right? That's gone now. Right? So you're going to have a lot of people dropping off.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I think, you know, people are going to survive to a degree. Are we going to thrive? I don't think so. Not for a long time. I think now I think we're going to head into 2 or 3 years of trying to preserve what we've already built, right? And I think, you know, if you've done it right, if you've done it clean, if you've done it honest, I think you've got a very good chance of survival. You know, but if you've overextended yourself and if you're living out of your till, I think you're going to be fucked pretty quickly. You know,
definitely.
I can see that.
But I think we're not getting the same level of passion into it, and passion is the wrong word because at the end of the day it's a fucking job, you know what I mean? But like, you know, we're not getting the same level of eagerness coming through the doors. We got guys, I want to be a barber. Oh, do you? That's great, yeah. He's in a tracksuit. He's come to an interview in a fucking tracksuit. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? And you're kind of, really? Are you an orphan? You know, did your mother not say, "Are you fucking kidding me? You're going to look for a job looking like?" Because my mother would have boxed the fucking hell off me.
If you hadn't turned up looking like that today, I'd have thought you didn't want to be here. But
that's how. This is how I go to work.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? My dad always told me, go to work looking like you're going to work.
I always wear boots.
Do you know what I mean?
That's what I always wear. I might wear jeans now, and I might be a bit more casual. And you know, I feel so comfortable. I could not do these interviews in something I didn't feel comfortable. So I've got my own style, but I always wear boots.
Does that like make you feel more? I don't know the way this, but like you're there.
Makes you feel like I'm coming to work.
Yeah, exactly.
I think if I've wore trackies, don't get me wrong. I've wore trackies occasionally, right? If I'm doing one client, I'm shooting off. It's to me, right? But I don't feel like I don't feel like, I don't know if this is just gone from culture. I don't know if this is a culture thing or what, but I feel now that gone are the days of wearing your own uniform to work. I feel like people just tend to work because they're getting the money. And
I said to guys,
you know,
go to work like you go to meet a bird, right? Or whatever. You know, if you want to impress somebody, you're going to dress to the best you can, right? And I used to have a really strict dress code. But what you find is, some guys look great in a suit, some guys look like they're going to court. Right? Some guys look like they're going to a fucking wedding. Some, you know, and that's what happens then. So I kind of, you know, say to guys, I've had some really, like, you see some of the guys we've had working in the shops over the years, right? I had one guy, Franco, he's gone back to Sicily now. But like, he was a proper, you know, card carrying teddy boy. Right?
Oh, I've seen him.
And he came to work one day in a vest, right? But he looked so fucking cool. Right? And it was kind of like, then I knew what was going to happen because, like, you know, we had the social girl in, and she put him on Instagram straight away. Somebody rang up, Frank is wearing a vest. Why can't I wear a vest? I said, you really going to ask me that fucking question? Why you can't wear a vest going to work? I said, do you want me to answer it? Do you want me to answer why? I said, because you're not going to fucking like what I'm going to say. Well, fair enough. I said, yeah, that's fine. I have another guy in Manchester. He's got dreadlocks down to his arse, right? He wears, you know, Vans, cholo pants, high socks, looks cool as fuck.
Yeah.
So I let him look cool as fuck.
Yeah.
You know, other guys, you know, they wear a shirt and slacks. You know what I mean? So again, we try to keep them. Listen, if you're going to dress the way you want to dress, make sure you dress well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's, you know, that brings personality into it. But then you get other guys and, you know, they see a guy wearing a pair of Vans, and all of a sudden, or the cholo pants, which would be deemed as shorts, right? I guarantee you, if I didn't monitor it, 2 days later, some cunt would turn up in a pair of Umbro shorts with a grass stain on them.
Yeah.
You know, and I say, what the fuck are you wearing shorts for? Oh, Caesar wore shorts last week. And that's what you're dealing with, right? So it's like, what do you do? So you just have to monitor and say, right, listen, if you're going to dress to your own personality, make sure you're dressing well.
You got to take pride in your appearance.
Yeah, you do.
It works in like the industry, because if you went in for a haircut and you could see, like you said, someone's there with grass stains on the shorts, although they might be the best barber in the world, you're still going to be a bit put off by that, aren't you?
Of course you are. But when you dress, you know, don't complain about the clients you get.
No.
If you don't dress for the client that you want.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? I want fellas who've got a few quid, you know, who know what they want, haircut wise, who are not going to show me a fucking picture of David Beckham.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm going to trust the fact that, listen, this fucker knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I'm going to trust him. There's the money. See him in 4 weeks, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. But then you get guys giving me, oh God, I get nothing but skin fades. Well, you have a skin fade, number one. Number two, you look like shit. Number three, you don't behave in a professional manner. So what do you think you're going to attract?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You get out what, you know what you put out,
Yeah.
you get back. You know
100%,
what I mean? And this is what people don't pay for the haircut. They pay for the service, and it's value. And it's like what I say, you know, if you can charge £200 if you want, just make sure you give them £200 worth.
Yeah.
And I don't mean £200 worth of a haircut, because it doesn't exist. You know what I mean?
No.
You know, no one knows the difference between my haircuts, your haircuts, your haircuts, my haircuts. Nobody knows the difference. You know, after a certain level of good, it becomes invisible.
Yeah.
But what they will notice is, Jesus, Johnny always looks well.
Yeah.
You know, Johnny's always smiling. You know, Johnny's always professional. Johnny always smells nice. Johnny's always on time. That's what they notice. They don't give a fuck about,
these are all the things
Johnny's technique is amazing. Think he gave off.
They haven't got a clue after
you see the way Johnny holds his comb? Oh, God. I love the way Johnny holds his scissors, you know what I mean?
I get a few clients say that to me though, you know.
Do you?
I love the way you spin your scissors. Yeah.
Showing off, and he's like that.
Of course I do.
But you know what I mean? It's that's what it becomes for me. You know, ultimately, we work in a people business, and the haircut is the byproduct of the people that we serve. You know what I mean? It's like I say to people all the time, difference in a 3-star hotel and a 5-star hotel, very, very little. The beds are probably the same, the food is probably similar, but you're paying for that service.
Yeah, you are.
Do you know what I mean?
I think people forget that it's a service as well, don't
but
they?
they don't want to, because again, it's been pushed.
Yeah.
It's been pushed that, you know, we're an industry of creatives. We're not.
Yeah.
We're not. You know, because creativity can be like, I know creative accountants.
Yeah.
You know creative mechanics. You know, creativity can be just solving a problem. Yeah, you don't have to fucking make a cunt look like he's going to a circus to be called creative.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? And that is the problem, I think, with the industry. And you know, the barbershops, as I know and love, they are going to die out, because now we're being fed this narrative: if you work for someone, you're a fucking slave. Your boss doesn't care about you. If you die, he's going to get someone else, and you know, he's exploiting you, and you know, you're worth more, and all this kind of stuff. And it's kind of like, hang on a fucking second, you know, let's step back here for a minute, right? You know, we open these lovely shops. You know, we use the best products. We use the best this. You know, we pay as fairly as we can pay. You know what I mean? If you want to be your own boss, be your own boss. See how you like it. You know what I mean? Because it's not as cracked. I couldn't personally work for someone else. That's my own thing. But I'm 44. But when I was 23, I opened my first shop. I shouldn't have. I was too young.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I went through it, and I got a lot more fucking wrong than I got right. You know what I mean? Because I didn't really mature properly until I was in my late 20s. You know, early 30s. That's when I became a man, like, you know what I mean? I was only a boy before that, doing stupid shit, you know, and, you know, I think opening businesses, open them young, but you will make those mistakes, you know, be under no illusions.
But that's a lesson though, isn't it?
It's
not
a
lesson. A failure, it's just something that you've learned.
And I think that's the important thing, but, you know, I think we have to get away from this thing of, you know, everybody should work for themselves, because not everybody can. You know what I mean? Because if you work for yourself, you should work for yourself with the attitude that the business comes first, not your lifestyle. You know what I mean? And this, you know, I'm self-employed, so I'm going home early. How about being self-employed and staying late?
Yeah,
Because that's what I did when I was
Yeah.
first self-employed. When I first opened my business, I didn't open my own business and all of a sudden work less.
Yeah.
I worked more.
Yeah.
Why? Because I wanted to earn money. You know,
Yeah,
and people
yeah.
say, "Oh, money's not everything." Money is everything.
Mm.
You know,
it
in
is,
the early
yeah.
days,
Oh God, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
it is.
This is a question I've always wanted to ask you and other people like you who've got multiple shops. Why? Because I honestly couldn't think of anything fucking worse, John. You know what? I really couldn't. One was hard enough for me.
Why? For
Yeah.
me, it was very, very. I was very, very clear on where I was going. I wanted a brand.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And what came off the back of the brand was the product line.
Yeah.
And it was
I want
always,
to talk to you about that. By the way.
it was always from day one. It was going to be the product line.
Was
But-
it?
Yeah, but it was going to be at the right time. Do you know what I mean? And it was. I felt now was the right time.
So why now?
Why now is because I felt I've gained enough experience to know my way around a product. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I've been in the industry long enough. I've used and worked with some of the biggest brands in the world in depth. You know what I mean? So I knew exactly what I was doing because I realized a few years ago that, you know, product formulation is not as easy as you'd be led to believe.
Yeah.
And I realised that product formulation should be looked at almost like a haircut. Do you know what I mean? I started looking at formulations as trying to solve a problem rather than trying to do something. You know what I mean? So I focus my products on what they don't do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I looked at the formulations as, you know, solving problems because people buy solutions. And that's something that I didn't know that fucking 15 years ago. I didn't know it 10 years ago when I started the business 9 years ago. You know, people buy a solution.
Yeah.
That's why you buy something.
Yeah.
You can have all the fancy marketing in the world, but if in your message, if you don't solve the problem the person is looking to solve, they're not going to buy it. You could spend 50 grand on an ad. You could spend 100 grand on a website. But if you're not telling them how to solve this fucking problem, you know what I mean? And that's what I did. I started listening to people about 5-6 years ago. I started really, really listening to customers. You know, like, you know, as you get more experience as a hairdresser, as a barber, as a hair cutter, you don't tell them what to do for you. You know, how do you want your hair to look? How don't you want it to look? What does your hair do that fucking really pisses you off? How can I fix that?
It's true.
And it's the same thing. So with products, it was a case of, well, I've used the best products I could ever find in my shops for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to sell that bullshit story of, oh, well, I couldn't find a product I was happy with, so I said I'd do it myself. That's bullshit. I don't believe that, right? Because all the products are out there. It's not like the 90s where you had gel or wax.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? There's a lot of great products out there.
Yeah, definitely.
You know.
So, talking of the products. Now, I reached out to you on Instagram. I think it was in the lockdown because I think you just I think it was the second lockdown. Was it you launched these, or you were talking about launching them?
We launched them. Did a soft launch last October, so
Last
12
October.
months ago.
12 months now. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know I reached out to you and said like I don't even know what I said, but the thing that got me was the box that it came in. You done like a little care package, and it was the box,
Yeah.
and I knew you cared because I've been sent shit in the past, and it comes in a jiffy envelope. And you're like, really?
Yeah.
And you sent me, I think it was every product you sent me, which I was surprised about as well. I know.
Yeah.
I was surprised you sent me it all because I know
Loads
how,
of I can't give them away.
yeah, but I know how expensive it is to get to send products out, right?
Yeah.
And so you sent me over all of them. I was using the shampoo conditioner, not on myself actually. I kind of kept that for myself. Took all the products to the shop. You gravitate towards one. I gravitated towards two of the products themselves. I gravitated to the 6 inches. Don't know why I did that.
What did you do?
I don't know why I did that. Because like you said, I thought that was 6 inches. And also the beach
I hope
comb.
not, fucking hell. I've been married to somebody else. maybe.
Setting yourself up for a fall there.
But the beachcomber, this, I put everyone onto this, right? Because my clientele has now changed to being medium length hairstyles. That's why I've kind of got a niche at the moment. I don't know if it's off the YouTube videos. We do a lot of medium length haircuts, long haircuts. I think you've talked to me about that.
Yeah, definitely.
But the one I was using the most of was beachcomber because I've not found anything like it. You can blow dry with it. You can leave it in natural. You get the kind of salty, kind of salt spray kind of feel of it. in what is classed as. Is this a styling product? Because I've been meaning to ask you this, and I should have just reached out, but I want to ask you in person. Is this a styling product, or is this a base product? Or
Both.
It's
both.
Okay.
So
all right.
I'm again, the purist in me hates the fact that we're selling 10 hair products to men, right? Every one of the products in the range, they're light enough to be a pre-styler, strong enough to be a post-styler, right?
Okay.
But for me, and this is where I think the products have a little edge on everything else that's around, right? Most men's hair products, even now, are designed to hold your hair, right? I don't like products that hold your hair too much. If you put enough of any shit in your hair, it's going to hold it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Vaseline, margarine. My grandfather put margarine in his hair.
Did he?
Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? I've got. Can I just add to that?
Yeah.
My mate's granddad told me years ago when we were kids that the working class and the poor used to use lard. The middle class used to use margarine or no, not margarine, Vaseline, and the rich used to use cream.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
My grandfather, he used to use margarine or chip fat or whatever.
Yeah.
So enough of anything will hold your hair, right?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
for me, again, when I started listening to customers years ago, when I started the product, because the product journey fucking took a long time, right?
How long?
All in about 3 years.
Oh wow.
You know, to get it
Yeah.
from concept to.
Was
that.
there a lot of back and forth where you were like, no, I want to start again with this
Oh
product?
yeah, loads of times.
Imagine, yeah,
you know,
definitely.
but the thing is, but was always the big word, right? So you go back to shockwaves, you know, hold your hair, but goes hard. Dax, hold your hair, but it's greasy, you know. American Crew does X amount of great things, but you know, so but came up a long time, many times, right? So I said, right, if I can fix it, this is what I'm saying to you, this is not about reinventing the wheel, this is about making the wheel more streamlined.
Yeah.
So I could take the butts out, I wanted to take the butts out of products. So the clays, my clays don't change the colour of your hair, you know what I mean? They don't go dull and greasy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They have a true matte finish. You know, my texture products, they will allow the hair to move. They don't hold your hair in place because you know, texture is all about movement. So I was adamant that I was going to get this product to control the hair, not hold the hair.
Yeah.
And that was the hardest thing to do, because when you go to a formulation house, right, they see a barber walking through the door, they think, right, okay, this cunt doesn't know what he's doing. they just say, right, we're going to do this. And I remember, like, and I developed a really, really good relationship with the guy who owns the formulation house, right? So I remember, like, you know, I've had dinner with him since we've launched the products, and I've been honest. You know, I said, I remember, like, the first round of samples I got, one of them was actually really good, but just to be a prick,
Yeah.
I said it was shit. Just because I wanted to see how far I could push him,
Yeah.
Okay.
right?
Okay.
That's what I did. I just want to say, right, I'm spending a lot of money with these people.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make their life easy.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones with the education. They're the ones with the know-how. I'm only the one with the idea and the concept.
Yeah.
I want to see how far I can push my concept, because I'm going to be paying for this.
Yeah, definitely.
That's true.
So I went to these guys because I've gone through 4 or 5 formulation houses at this time, right? Eventually a friend of mine who's a long-term client, who used to own a formulation house, who actually launched 2 or 3 massive women's brands in the 80s and 90s. I rang him up and I said, Mike, do me a fucking favour, get me a formulation house that isn't shit, please. I said, because everyone I'm dealing with is shit.
Yeah.
They go to 2 or 3 samples and then they just, well, that's it. I said, what do you mean that's it? You know what I mean? That's all you have? You know what I mean? You can't.
Is that why a lot of the products are the same?
Yeah. Because to do it right, it's costly, it's time consuming. You've got to understand formulations. You know what I mean? Like, I started not studying years ago, but I started researching on what different ingredients did. You know what I mean? Like, say, the big one for me is the products are vegan. Not that I'm vegan, but I just think it's the right way to go.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
definitely.
You know, and certain hair products or certain ingredients that are plentiful, you know, like beeswax, lanolin, all that. I don't use any of that. Now, they're great ingredients. There's nothing wrong with them.
Yeah.
But they do certain things that my ingredients doesn't do. I use candelilla wax instead of instead of beeswax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now,
Okay, yeah.
candelilla wax, it's the same structure, but it doesn't have that sticky feeling.
Yeah.
The smell as well, though, innit? There's a smell.
Yeah, but again, fragrance it reacts differently to all different ingredients, and that's the other thing. What people don't realise is fragrance is actually the fucking tug of chemistry.
Yeah.
It's the tug, because you know, a certain fragrance can alter the chemistry of the product. You know what I mean? For example, in one of the products, right, I got it right. It's coming out in the next round, right? But adding sea salt to the formulation, it didn't like it.
Yeah.
And it absolutely completely destroyed it. So I had to go and find an alternative that had give me a similar effect to sea salt.
Yeah.
That wasn't sea salt, so it wouldn't spoil the formula.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So these small little things, and when you're going through compact testing, you know, you got your 12 weeks. You know, if you fail within the first 1 or 2 weeks, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You go back and you can change it. If you fail after 5-6 weeks, it depends what you fail on.
Right.
You might be able to get it through and then address it at the end. You know, once the testing phase is complete, or you might have to fucking scrap it and start all over again. So what, and that's the difference, because when you get samples, the samples are generally, they're hand poured, handmade in a lab, right? And everything is beautiful and everything is monitored very, very closely. But it's when you scale up into batch chemistry, you know what I mean?
Oh, that's
you make one by hand, but when you're making 20,000, you know, is the formulation going to react well?
Yeah.
You have a phase as well, don't you, where it has to settle in the tubs first.
Yeah, that's compact testing.
That takes a long time.
12 weeks.
Is that only
12 weeks?
That's what I'm thinking of then. Or maybe it is that then.
Yeah, it's 12 weeks. But, you know, they still hold on to the samples anyway.
Okay,
you know what I mean? But again, you know, when you sell in different markets, you know what I mean? Like, that's why the challenge testing is so important, because you got to see how, you know, bacteria, you know, what type of bacteria is formed, once it's settling, you know, and then, you know, if you go to a really hot country, you go to a really cold country.
You
know, what's going to happen if it freezes in transit? Do you know what I mean? How is the chemistry going to react to that? So
as it thaws out.
These are all things that you have to contend with, and that's why it's such a difficult journey.
It's a thing you don't think of, is it really? Like on the forefront of it?
There's a lot of stuff I learned the hard way. Do you know what I mean? In the early days, and it was like fucking money after money, and Jesus Christ. Do you know what I mean? I think I got it right. Do you know what I mean? You know, and it's getting a lot.
Speaking of getting it right, so I know I did share this with you ages ago, but I did. I worked with Dan Radcliffe quite a lot, and the last time I saw him, I brought this beachcomber with me, because I've been using it so much as a pre-styler. Like I've been blow drying it in to clients with, like, who wanted that sort of they wanted a hold, but without it being like like what I've got in my hair now.
Control.
They wanted control.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Makes sense now. So I use this as a base in Dante, because Dante is quite fine. It's quite fine texture. He's got a lot of it, but it's a fine texture. So I use this to add that kind of control, the movements, everything else. Then I put on top of it, I put 9 to 5 and Turn Up mixed together. Believe it or not. And that is what basically gave it the sheen when it's under certain lights, like stage lighting and stuff like that. But it also made it was windy. It was March or April. It was windy as anything, right? And it just didn't move. But it moved, but
it allows movement.
The wind was hitting it, but it was staying in the same style. But I used your, and that's when I sent you that. I think I tagged you in it on Instagram, I think, or something like that. But this, I swear to God, mate, I think you for all the products, we all have our favourites, right? For me, you've hit the fucking nail on the head with this one. So yeah, when I was one of the things about when I was using beachcomber though, in terms of the actual, so a lot of the time for me when I look at products, I don't always care about the smell. It doesn't really bother me the smell too much, because if the product works, it'll. Like I used to use Kevin Murphy, one of the Kevin Murphy ones, and it smelled like it, but it was amazing. But it was amazing. I remember when I was putting this, when you sent me it for the first time, I had a mannequin head, and that's what I was practicing the products on. So you asked for honest feedback. I gave you honest feedback. The smells for me, when I'm thinking of, like, if I think of a pomade, I want it to smell a certain way. I want it to smell old school. Yeah. If I think of a product that is going to be working for a longer beach texture here, I want it to smell a bit like that. How did you get that right? Because did you think like that? Did you think? Is that what you were thinking?
I think with fragrance is very, very important, right?
Because you say it's the thug of a.
It's a thug of chemistry. It can ruin everything. As in, because again, you need to have a good fragrance house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't. You know, generally speaking, you know, the fragrance house and the formulation house, you got to go separate because you need depth. You know what I mean? As in like a depth in a range. You can't just.
So you have to go separate for the fragrance.
Yeah. But they work together, and the formulation.
Yeah.
But the thing is, every product, every one of them. Here's one, right? They all smell the same. Every one of them with the same fragrance, but they have different notes.
They have
right?
different notes. That's the thing.
They have different notes, right? So the reason why when people do cocktail products, I don't want them to smell like a horse handbag. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, that's
Not that I've ever smelled a horse handbag. I want to get that. I want a disclaimer. But no, so they all smell the same. Right. So 9 to 5, tough enough. They both smell the same because they're both clays, right? And you're not going to be mixing two different clays, right? But the shampoo, the body wash, and the body wash came as a byproduct of everyone saying, "Geez, they smell lovely." So fuck, I'm going to make a body wash. So I mean, well, I didn't set out to make a body wash. It was just kind of saying, "Well, you know what? People like the fragrance so much. I'm going to make a body wash."
That's
right?
what people tell me they want, though, isn't it?
You know, so that's why they smell the way they smell. But I think fragrance-wise, weirdly, when I was given the brief, it's all right. I want them to smell really nice, but I want them to smell like nothing.
So was that what you?
I want it to be, you know, memorable but forgettable at the same time. That you know you can wear your aftershave with this, and it's not going to conflict. A lot of you know, you see these, but you know, I see when people advertise the fragrance of their product. You know what I mean, on the packaging. That's a red flag for me. You know what I mean.
But it's alcohol based though, isn't it? Right? Isn't every fragrance alcohol based?
Most of them are.
So it's going to dry out whatever it goes into, like skincare.
Well, every product, you know, there's alcohol in 99.9% of products anyway. You know what I mean? It's what you do to combat the alcohol in it, but it's a different type of alcohol. Do you know what I mean? It's a chemical one. But with regards to the fragrance probably took 9 months. It did, because there were some really, really nice fragrances, but they lingered. Do you know what I mean? I could smell them on my fucking hands, and they were kind of. It's not what you want from a hair product. Do you know what I mean? A hair product has to smell nice,
definitely,
or smell like nothing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I thought so. I wanted to smell like nice and nothing at the same time. And that's what I'm saying. I pushed these fuckers like to their limits, like so much so I thought they were going to tell me fuck off a few times. Do you know what I mean? But I
honestly can't imagine you doing that.
But I knew what I wanted, and I was paying a hell of a lot of money for it. Do you know what I mean? So,
you've got another one.
And as I said, I wasn't trying to make a product that didn't exist. Do you know what I mean? I was trying to slightly better what I was already using. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm a big fan of American Crew. I'm a big fan of Lay Right. I'm a big fan of Kevin Murphy. I'm a big fan of Patrick's. I'm a big fan of a lot of products. But I still don't think, for what I want for my product line, these products don't hit it. You know what I mean? Now, I'm sure they hit it for what they want, and that's the thing. And this, you know, people are individual, and their needs are individual. And as I said, I've met with these products, because I've tested them so many times on so many people. When I say people, my own clients, and you know, independent feedback from people like yourself, and I've sent them to hundreds of barbers that I know. Right, I've solved the problems my customers were having. Which means I'm going to solve the problems of the people that I want to sell to. Do you know what I mean? Because my customer in my barbershop is the same customer who's going to buy my products, right? And the people who don't want the solutions that I'm selling won't buy my product. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing, and I don't want
it. But that's what you said at the start, though. It's the same as your shops. Isn't
it?
You're not, if them people aren't going to buy your products, then you can't force them to.
I guarantee there's somebody out there today probably using that going, that shit. Of course there is. Of course there is. Now, that could be born from jealousy, or it could be it doesn't satisfy their need. Which is fine. Like, the best restaurant in the world, someone thinks is shit. The worst restaurant in the world, someone thinks is great. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying this is the best or the worst, but this is certainly the best product that I have personally used, because it solves the problems that I have personally encountered.
That's how every great business stands the test of time, though. It solves problems. Like, if you think back to all the major businesses that are still going now, Amazon, Tesla, all the big ones, right, that we talk about now, they were built from the need to either better the person involved, the person who started it, or to better the world in some ways. Now, I'm not saying you're going to change the world with a haircut, but yeah, exactly. But you know, it's built for a need. And that's the difference. It's not just built to like massage your ego. It's not built to sell your brand. It's not, you know what I mean? It's built because you found problems with your clients that were saying, well, I love Foreman cream from American Crew. There's just something about it.
Yeah.
That you're getting there going.
Yeah, but I love Foreman cream. It's one of my favourite products.
Me too. But it doesn't work for everyone.
No, it doesn't. And that's the thing. That's why I have 2 clays. That's why I have a texture product, and I have 13 more ready to drop. Wow. As soon as I fucking sell these fuckers, I'm getting more. Do you know what I mean? So it's, you know, there's loads of products ready, but it's you know, getting money to bloody make them.
Really nice hearing how much thought you have put into it, because there's a lot of people who will just make a product and go, that's a product, I'm not bothered.
Of course,
make a bit of
money. To me, a lot of products are like that.
Oh, 100%.
You know, but again, this was personal to me, and you know, it's like I struggled. What was I going to call it? Was I going to call it Barber Barber? Was I going to call it something else? And I said, yeah, do you know what? I have to. Yeah. I have to, because, you know, Barber Barber is a name that it's not going to sound stupid in 50 years. Yeah, it is what it is. It does exactly what it says in the tin. Yeah. And if you look at like the directions of use, you know, there's easy does it, there's knock 'em dead. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. There's a bit of personality in there. I think people know that it comes from me. Yeah, but this is where
the gold.
They're a pre and post styler. Yeah. I don't want like. Yeah, you can cocktail them if you wish, but I'm not out there peddling. Listen, you need 10 products to get this look. That makes me want to like punch someone right in the fucking neck by saying it, because you don't. If you want to use them, you can. Yeah. If you want to cocktail different products, you can. But like, don't tell me you see all these fucking influencers, right? And I'm sorry. I'm not fucking sorry, right? You know, nobody knows more about hair than a professional, right? And with these influencer guys, that's what a bad taste in my mouth, right? Because they peddle everything, right? And there's very, very few of them independent, right? But they're reviewing the product based on their hair, right? Now, for example, if somebody with fine hair uses Tough Enough, they're not going to like it because it's too strong, right? If somebody with really thick hair uses 9 to 5, they're not going to like it.
It didn't work
because
in my hair,
because it's not designed to hold thick hair. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, Tough Enough is designed with thick, coarse, unruly hair in mind. That's what it's for. Yeah. That's why it's called Tough Enough. It's tough enough, right? 9 to 5, it's designed to last all day, to be reworked. Hence why it's called 9 to 5. Now, whether that's 9 to 5 in the day or 9 at night till 5 in the morning, it's there to last. It's to be reworked. You know, that's what it's designed for. Ton Up was a little nod to the past, you know, about the Ton Up Boys. The Ton Up Boys were the UK's equivalent to the Teddy Boys. So the Ton Up Boys used rock around on Triumphs, and to get into the gang you had to get a ton up on your Triumph. The ton up was 100 up, right? So you got to get a ton up. And that's just my little nod to the past, you know. So that's why it's called ton up, right? Because
I thought it was because the height was like. Hell, it's probably my fucking advertising brain. Ton Up was in like the weight of it. I thought it was because it held for so long.
No, Ton Up. if you ever look up the Ton Up Boys.
I know. I just never put two.
So it's just that's why the colour of it. It's the colour of axle grease.
Makes sense.
Do you know what I mean? So that, you know, people go, it's green because it's Irish. Well, that's not Irish green. I mean, that's axle grease green. And the very first pomades that were out, you know, hundreds of years ago, they were that colour apparently. Do you know what I mean? They were a pale green. You know what I mean? So it was just my little nod to the past there.
My daughter loves slime, by the way. I hope this isn't an offensive thing to Johnny, but my daughter loves slime. And when you sent me this, she goes, "Daddy, slime." No, it's pomade. It's just because the colour of it. But I don't know if you can get my camera there. But yeah, I fucking love it. I absolutely love it. You know, because I never knew it was anything to do with a nod to a little bit of a bit of a kind of.
Not to a classic, do you know what I mean? And that's what they are.
That's what pomades are, the classic products, aren't they? Yeah. So, 6 inches, by the way. Another favourite. Right?
Yeah, favourite name so far, definitely.
You need to stop saying that.
Again, 6 inches, it's deemed long, isn't it? So your hair grows half an inch a month.
Yeah.
Over 12 months, 6 inches.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Oh, okay.
when you have 6 inches of hair, it's deemed long.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, it's about control. There's no hair product
Nothing
out
like that
there.
on the market, mate.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Nothing like that. That is unreal. When you put that into longer hair,
Yeah.
diffuser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
is good.
It works.
Like
It
with
really-
curls.
Yeah,
Imagine.
Yeah.
When you sent me them, right, I don't know if you ever checked back to the sales, but I literally must have sold almost a recommend. I don't sell, I recommend.
Yeah.
The beachcomber and 6 inches because that was my clientele at that
Well,
moment.
funny
That's
enough,
what I
right?
was
Our own online shop, Beachcomber 6 inches are the big sellers. On Amazon, 9 to 5 and tough enough.
Yeah.
In the shops, 9 to 5, ton up. So again, different places
Yeah.
tend to sell different products. But again,
Interesting, though.
Yeah.
long hair. I have a lot of long hair clients.
Yeah.
And they never have any product in their hair.
That's right.
Yeah.
But they don't want any product in hair. That's the thing. And you shouldn't have, product in long hair to a degree designed to hold, because the whole point of men with long hair, guys with long hair are generally a little bit gnarly, a little bit cool, kind of rock and roll type fellas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very rarely are they highly groomed, right?
Yeah.
And you want that product that looks like nothing.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? You want it to
definitely.
look like there's nothing in your hair. There's plenty of ladies' products, but again, for all different things, they might smell wrong, or they don't hold enough, or they don't allow
Like mousse or something.
and they can be sticky. And fellas don't like stickiness in their hair.
No.
And again, that was a big one for me. That the products, you use them long enough, they're not sticky.
No.
Because I don't like to. Again, it's problem solving, and
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
why a lot of people buy them.
Yeah.
Because I like it because they don't stick in your hands, or they wash out easy, or there's loads of things like that.
I think with them, because I know you haven't used them, but Johnny's kindly given us them. I feel when you say about your personality, right? I never knew a lot of this about your products because you gave me them as products. You didn't give me a backstory. You never sent me a fucking list of why it's this and why it's that.
Yeah.
It was just products. Try them out. Let me know what you think. Right? That was what it was. That was all it was about. I feel your personality doesn't come through in a way, but now knowing what you've said, I can see your personality in them.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you know what I mean?
because
Which I think is a good thing though in some ways, because it's not all about you. It's about your solving problems for other people. And I think that's why I like it. And I like the fact that you've told me where your products come from. Not only the fact that you spent 3 years making them.
About 3
the fact,
Yeah.
you don't need to disclose how much you spent. I don't think I want to know how much you spent. I don't think your child wants to know how much you spent for his future income.
my wife still didn't.
I can't be that special. But when you think about like personality and products, right? Sometimes it comes across too far. Sometimes it doesn't come across enough.
Yeah.
I think you've just sealed it for me with no. And this is not a plug. You have not asked me to plug these products at all.
No.
We are just we're just talking shit.
Yeah.
Talking shop. He's saying that. But it is. You haven't sold me the product, but you've explained to me where the product comes from.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Definitely.
And you've never tried them.
No, this is all brand new to me, and it's nice knowing the background before I even get to use them. You know what I mean? Because it's going to make it feel a lot better to use these in the shop now.
Yeah. I agree. But my fan favourite to them, the one, the shampoo, by the way. What is the smell?
What is the smell?
What is the actual? What's the scent of the shampoo?
There is a couple of things in it, right? The main note in it is grapefruit.
Is it grapefruit?
Yeah. But there's a couple of other things that complement it that make it smell like it
My
smells.
wife asked me what that was, because I just couldn't tell you. I couldn't pick a particular thing. She said it smelled. What did she say it smelled like? Bergamot.
No, it's
That's
not
what you said.
bergamot.
That's what she thought it smelled.
Yeah, it's not that.
But I was like, I don't think it's that.
No.
But it's got a lot. It's just it's subtle. Because I'm the same. I pay a lot of money for aftershave. I don't want my hair product overtaken.
It needs to smell instantly fresh. You know what I mean? I think for men, especially shampoo, because it's a morning thing mostly. It needs to be invigorating. Do you know what I mean? But it can't linger.
No,
do you know what I mean? It can't linger,
I agree.
You know?
I agree. But the thing is, I was going to say, what you've done well there is the fact that when you said about the products that they can be used and you can combine them, they don't need to be. But like for someone in like a professional, sometimes like when I was saying about working with Dan, I had to combine the product because I needed something because his hair drops very quickly. I didn't want to overload his hair. If I overload it too much, especially on a shoot, it goes dry. It goes too hard. You can tell there's too much product in it. So I needed a product range that I could overload if I needed to. Not overload, sorry, combine if I needed to.
Well, again, that's problem solving, isn't it? And that's what you've done with the products, isn't it?
But you've problem solved in an area that you never knew you did.
I didn't know.
You know what I mean? You've problem solved the session styling. You've problem solved the photo shoot styling.
And the thing is, regardless, because anytime I did any session stuff, I never used wet product.
No.
I always use just hairspray. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah. Always. It's just because again you got the lights. You know, a lot of wet products tend to weep. You know, I'll be honest with you, I haven't used my stuff on any session stuff yet. No. But again, I haven't done session stuff since before lockdown. So.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
You know.
But I've only done that. That was the one job I'd done since then. And you know, it worked. It absolutely worked. But we have a curveball question that we throw in.
Go on.
Sorry.
I had a bit of a breakdown over this question last week. Took me by surprise.
This is something that we throw in now. We worked out that it was a really good question. I got asked it once and I fucking loved it. But it made me fucking head fall off, and it also did. It felt like he was questioning his life after this.
Oh yeah.
But when we talk about when you think of happiness in your life, right? If you could buy the happiness in your life, what would the currency be?
Not the exact same reaction as me.
I need to understand this question now before I answer it.
Okay. For example, because this is the thing that I got asked once. So if you think of what is the currency of your happiness, what makes you happy? Is it material things? Is it money? Is it love? Is it fucking all the? What is the currency that if you could buy your happiness, what would it be with? What makes you happy?
What makes me happy? I mean, you know, obviously the answer there is contentment. You know what I mean? And what makes me content is my wife and my children, right?
Amazing,
My wife and my children are literally, like every man, you know, my number one concern, right? It's the reason why we do what we do, right? And I have this old school mentality that, you know, once you have your house in order, once your wife and your kids are happy, then that enables you to do everything else. If your wife and kids aren't happy, there's no amount of material things that are going to make them happy, right? For me, you know, my life and everything I do revolves around my wife and my children, right? I'm very, very lucky in the sense that, you know, without going into it, you know, my wife stood by me through some fucking tough times, right? And, you know, really made me realise that, you know what, without a strong household, you have nothing, right? So that's for me, that's, you know, my wife and kids come first. Everything else comes, you know, work comes a very, 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 very close second.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Material things, I'm not interested. Do you know what I mean? Obviously everyone likes a nice house, nice car, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And you'd be lying if you said you didn't. But, you know, I think people talk about the little things. You know, the little things are great once the big things are looked after.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's good.
you know, just for example, I remember there was one night a couple of years ago, it was a freezing cold October night. We said we'd go to fucking Blackpool, right? Walking down the fucking prom, eating chips, big jacket, young Flanny scooter. My wife says, "Isn't this great?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is great.
Yeah.
Because we're going home to a warm house. You know what I mean? In a nice car.
Yeah.
And we wake up in the morning and we know there's food in the fridge.
Yeah.
You know, so the little things are brilliant.
Yeah.
But you have to have the big things have to be looked after first.
Yeah.
And, you know, if anyone disagrees with that, that's fine. And you know what? I wish them the fucking best. You know what I mean? But look after the big things first.
Yeah.
Make them bulletproof. And then you can enjoy all the little things. Because if all you had was the little things, you wouldn't be very fucking happy either.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No point having a bag of chips, you know, if you can't go home and turn on the lights.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And if all you had was that bag of chips, you wouldn't be very fucking happy.
No, you wouldn't.
Do you know what I mean?
Go be for 10 minutes and then they're done.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I think, you know, I think that's about the most honest way I can answer that. Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, if I said I didn't want massive success and I didn't want to earn millions of pounds, I'd be lying. You know, and most people would be lying if they said money's not important. Money is important. Do you know what I mean? But Is it as important as happiness? Of course not. You know what I mean? Can money make you happy? No, it can't. You know what I mean? But being poor can make you fucking miserable.
Oh, definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
Johnny, thanks for coming on the podcast.
My pleasure.
Mate. It was
been great.
It was a great answer, that man.
That was really good.
That was deep, and I liked it.
Yeah.
I felt that was deep, but I completely relate to that, man. And thanks for sharing and spending your time with us. And
My pleasure.
Coming to the pool.
Yeah.
Fucking scaring the shit out of me when you rang me this morning. I thought I was getting prank called. I'm in Costa and I'm ordering a coffee. All right, La. And I'm like,
it's one of my good accents. Is the Liverpool one.
Yeah.
So,
go on, do it.
Can't.
So what? It's good. I felt the spit, so that's how it is. Yeah.
I remember there was one time I was talking to a customer one day. You know, there's something about a Scouse accent on a woman, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is nice, like, you know.
Yeah.
I remember I said to a fella, I said, "Jeez, I love a Scouse accent on a woman," you know. And your man goes, "I don't know, you know. Anytime I hear I just hear fucking trouble." Do you know what I mean? And I thought that's a great answer, like.
Well,
You know?
Yeah. But thanks, Johnny, mate.
Cool.
And we'd have you back on again anytime.
Anytime.
Yeah.
But thanks for the products as well. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely use these in the shop now. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, man.